Hello and welcome again. My name's John Huggins. I'm the vicar of the Len Valley Benefice, which includes churches in Bourton Malab, Harwich, Lenham and also Alcombe. And welcome to the second time of reflection together as we learn a way to be church without meeting inside our church buildings at this time. It struck me last night, we're now doing something that just about 3 weeks ago would have seemed a really crazy scenario, like something from a science fiction film. And yet, if you're like me, you're really adapting to this new way of life already. It's amazing how resilient we are as human beings and as a nation, and we should give thanks to God for that. Today is also our second Sunday before Easter. I hope your Easter eggs are stashed away ready at home. Here's the passage chosen by the church for today. It's from John chapter 11 and it's verses 1 to 45, which is a huge chunk. It's about the raising of Lazarus. So I have reduced it. I've tried to do that carefully without losing its meaning. So I hope that that's okay. I'm going to read it now. Now a man named Lazarus was ill. He was from Bethany, the village of Mary and her sister Martha. So the sisters sent word to Jesus, "Lord, the one you love is ill." When he heard this, Jesus said, "This illness will not end in death. No, it is for God's glory, so that God's Son may be glorified through it." Now Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. So when he heard that Lazarus was ill, he stayed where he was 2 more days, and then he said to his disciples, "Let us go back to Judea." He told them plainly, "Lazarus is dead, and for your sake I am glad I was not there, so that you may believe. But let's go to him." On his arrival, Jesus found that Lazarus had already been in the tomb for 4 days. Now Bethany was less than 2 miles from Jerusalem, and many Jews had come to Martha and Mary to comfort them in their loss of their brother. When Martha heard that Jesus was coming, she went out to meet him, but Mary stayed at home. "Lord," Martha said to Jesus, "if you had been here, my brother would not have died. But I know that even now God will give you whatever you ask." Jesus said to her, "Your brother will rise again." Martha answered, "I know he will rise again in the resurrection at the last day." Jesus said to her, "I am the resurrection and the life. The one who believes in me will never die. They will live. And whoever lives by believing in me will never die." "Do you believe this?" "Yes, Lord," she replied. "I believe that you are the Messiah, the Son of God, who has come into the world." After she said this, she went back and called her sister Mary aside. "The teacher is here," she said, "and is asking for you." When Mary heard this, she got up quickly and went to him. When Mary reached the place where Jesus was and saw him, she fell at his feet and said, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died." When Jesus saw her weeping, and the Jews who had come along with her also weeping, he was deeply moved in spirit and troubled. "Where have you laid him?" he asked. "Come and see, Lord," they replied. Jesus wept. Then the Jews said, "How he loved him." Jesus, once more deeply moved, came to the tomb. It was a cave with a stone laid across the entrance. "Take away the stone," he said. So they took away the stone. Then Jesus looked up and said, "Father, I thank you that you have heard me. I knew that you always hear me. But I said this for the benefit of the people standing here, that they may believe that you sent me." When he had said this, Jesus called in a loud voice, "Lazarus, come out." The dead man came out, his hands and feet wrapped with strips of linen, and a cloth round his face. Jesus said to them, "Take off the grave clothes and let him go."